It's the culmination of your year, your career, and tonight, time is running out.
Lights go out and I can't be saved. Tides that I tried to swim against.
UConn is trying to become the first team ever to make 5 straight Final Fours. For the first time in 12 years, they face a higher-seeded team, Penn State.
Trouble that can't be named. The tigers waiting to be tamed, singing.
No team in history has more tournament wins without reaching the Final Four than LSU. No team has more tournament wins without a national title than Georgia. Tonight, one dream will live. She is the greatest scorer in the history of the Big Ten. And tonight, Kelly Mazzante will try to shoot down arguably the greatest player ever in women's college basketball, Diana Taurasi. Penn State and UConn getting set to square off for a trip to New Orleans and the Final Four. Hi again, everybody. Glad to have you with us. Rece Davis, Nell, Fortner, Stacey, Schumann. By UConn's lofty standards, the regular season may be a little bit of a disappointment with some extra losses thrown in there. But all will be forgiven, all will be forgotten if they can do what no other program has done before and make the Final Four for a 5th straight year. But might face a little bit of a challenge with some tenacious D on D.
I tell you what, Penn State's Tanisha Wright is the 2-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. She will be on Taurasi, and it will be a battle right there. She must affect Diana Taurasi's game.
Penn State could be in trouble if they can't score near the hoop, even if it's with their guards, and they can't rebound. I think it was Notre Dame that had 17 offensive boards and 17 second chance points against Penn State. That's a point of emphasis for Rece Portland.
Both of you took Penn State to go to the Final Four in the Selection Sunday. Are you sticking with it?
Sticking with it.
Both are you selecting Penn State. We will see how it unfolds in Hartford. Mike Patrick and Ann Meyers. We will join them now for the call. Guys?
Thank you, Rece. And tonight here at the Hartford Civic Center, we will uncover the first piece of the puzzle for this year's Final Four. It's the Elite 8 of the Women's NCAA Basketball Championship. It will be the top seed in the East, number 2 UConn, against top-seeded Penn State as they face off for a ticket to New Orleans. Our bracket here in the East, the only one still intact. In the Mideast, Duke against Minnesota, 1 against 7. In the Midwest, Tennessee, the number 1 seed, will take on Stanford. And in the West tonight, LSU and Georgia will decide the second finalist for New Orleans. Gino Auriemma has the best winning percentage of any active coach and has already won 4 national championships, including the last 2. He will start 3 guards, Conlon, Taurasi, and Strother, and with Turner and Moore up front. Penn State's Rece Portland, number 7 on the all-time win list for women's basketball. She captured 3 titles as a player and now just 3 wins from her first as a coach. She starts 3 guards as well. Strong, Wright, Mazzante with Brungo and Russell in the front court. Our Star Watch, a pair of game-changing All-Americans, Ann.
Well, both these seniors are looking to extend their college careers, which means they both have to shine in the spotlight tonight. Diana Taurasi has to make shots and get her teammates involved just like she's done all season, and Kelly Mazzante is coming off a solid game against Notre Dame and has to have an impact game tonight.
Good evening, everybody, from the Hartford Civic Center. Mike Patrick, Ann Meyers. It's great to have you with us. UConn comes in as the number 2 seed. Penn State is number 1. That means UConn is the underdog. Or does it?
Well, with UConn, they're coming in as number 2 seed. Yeah, but look at this fan. They're playing at home at the Hartford Civic Center. And number 1, Penn State, they feel like they haven't gotten any respect, Mike, because as a number 1 seed, they had to win in Virginia against Virginia Tech. They've got to come here and try to beat Connecticut. And Connecticut is 41-2 in 16 years here. And those 2 losses, though, are this year.
And tonight, Penn State will have a chance to prove its point. The 3rd member of our broadcast team, always happy to work with Beth Mowins. Let's check in with her right now.
Well, Mike, when we talked with Gino Auriemma earlier today, he said this Penn State team may be the most difficult to defend in the country. And here's why. They have tremendous offensive versatility. They have had 3 different scorers lead them in the NCAA tournament. Most recently, Jessica Prungo, who may be the best player in America that you don't know a whole lot about. But Auriemma certainly knows about her. He loves the versatility that she provides. She can score inside and outside. She has those long arms, so she's good on the boards and a good defender. She may not be a household name yet, Mike, but she'd love to change that this evening.
And Beth, she is the player who does all the little things for this Penn State Lady Lion Ball Club that has helped make them so successful this year. Racina Russell will jump center against Jessica Moore. Russell hurt her right knee in the semifinals the other night, but doing much better tonight, and they're going to have to jump this one up again. That ball almost got head high before it was swatted away.
Well, both of them have such long arms. And I tell you, there are a lot of Penn State fans at this game today.
And we're going to do it again. That looked like it was tipped out of bounds by Moore, but we'll jump center for the 3rd time to start the game. Thankfully, somebody corralled it. Taken down by Tanisha Wright. She'll give it up to the point guard, Jess Strom. She is number 23, guarded by Conlon. Let's see if they can get Mazzante off to a quick start.
Both teams will look to play man-to-man, and Gino Auriemma was saying you can't just concentrate on Mazzante because they've got 3 other players that have scored over 1,000 points.
There's a backdoor pass and too long for Brungo, so a turnover on the opening possession.
And Jess Strom is going to be an important player in this game. 13 games she's played 40 minutes. She is their point guard, their leader. In the last 4 out of 5 games, she's played 40 minutes. Doesn't get in foul trouble too often.
And she's had 19 assists in the 3 tournament games so far. Taurasi, little fadeaway swish.
And she's got Tanisha Wright on her, the 5'11 junior, 2-time Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. She's going to have her hands full. You want to guard her tight? Make her go to the basket. But she's deceptive with that quick step, Diana Taurasi.
And that will be the matchup of the night. As great as Tanisha Wright is defensively, what can she do with Taurasi? Runner by Mazzante, short. Offensive rebound to Brungo. Now Russell. And Russell tied up and travels. 2 possessions, 2 turnovers for the Lady Lion.
Well, you see, they run screens. Both these players come off screens, set picks, and little step-back move. Tanisha Wright's got to be a little tighter on Diana Taurasi because you've got to try and make it a little bit more difficult to keep the ball out of her hands.
Taurasi trying to post up right now and run off a screen. Good defense by Wright. Now she'll back her in, has a height advantage in the lane, and Taurasi 2 for 2 against a brilliant defensive player.
I talked to Gino Auriemma before the game today at the shoot-around, and we asked him about the Santa Barbara game. He said it was one of the most physical games his team has ever played here at Connecticut. And he said it probably helped them as far as physically coming in against Penn State.
Strom trying to penetrate. Nice pass to Russell.
And that's going to be a key play right in there with Racina Russell. I think the 6'6 freshman has to come in and score points for them. She did not score the other night against Notre Dame. They don't get a lot of points from her, but I think that center position for Penn State is going to be a big position as far as getting some kind of activity.
That pass tip knocked out of bounds out to the Huskies.
There's a great dish by Strom, and Russell's going to have to finish a lot of those shots.
It's an offensive foul trying to set a screen. Let's see who picks it up. It's going to be Maria Conlon.
You know, the other night, Mike, we talked about this Penn State team, how intelligent they are, and Kelly Mazzante being the Scholar Athlete of the Year. And about 6-7 players on this team that are academic All-Americans.
That's right. They have a tremendous track record.
So they have a great understanding of how to run their offenses and read each other.
Russell dribble it off her foot and travel before she did that. So the freshman out of Indianapolis, a little bit shaky right now, and the third turnover in 2.5 minutes on Penn State.
A little hesitation, not as involved in the offensive during the course of the year. She just averages under 5 points a game.
You cannot give UConn extra possession. Good screen outside. Conlon tries to return the pass, knocked out of bounds with 13 on the shot clock.
One of the things that Gino Auriemma wanted to do, the decision to make, do we run Penn State? Yes, we want to run them. Or do we slow it down? We want to cut down their possessions.
Taurasi with a three. That goes on top of the backboard, but not over it, so it's still in play.
Because this Lady Lion team, Mike, they score in bunches. They get a lot of shots off.
That one hit the shot clock, so it's out of bounds. And the only bucket they've scored on so far is the inside layup by Russell, but it's still only a 2-point lead. And this is the way UConn reached this game. They defeated Penn, Auburn, and UCSB all handily, although the UC Santa Barbara game was close for a long, long time. Penn State has had a tougher job to get here. Moore kicks it back outside to Conlon. Conlon with a three, and a 3-second call against UConn, and they turn it over. And here's the road to the Elite Eight. Hampton, that was at Virginia Tech. Then they had to beat Virginia Tech there. They come here to Hartford to beat Notre Dame. Now they have to play UConn in Notre Dame. Who knows? They could end up playing LSU in New Orleans. This is the toughest road anybody has had throughout the tournament.
That's right. Hypothetically, if they do play LSU, they will deserve to be the national champion. And what a road they've been through, because a team that has only 5 losses this year, but they've had some tough losses, end of the game shots. They are the Big Ten regular season champion. And again, they don't seem to, people give them credit. And Rene Portland over there stamping her feet, which is kind of patented for her, getting her team going.
Wright misses, and both teams just stone cold and very sloppy early. Taurasi has the only 2 baskets for the Huskies so far. Moore trying to get inside Brungo and draws a foul.
And that's the matchup Beth Mullins talked about. Barbara Turner and Jess Brungo. Brungo very quick at 6'1", had Turner down low. Turner just using her quickness against Brungo down low in the low post. And Turner has really had, I think, a consistent year for herself as a sophomore. And Diana Taurasi, I think, has been a key in that, because Taurasi's numbers, a lot of people have said they've gone down, and I think it's because to make her teammates better.
I do too. And Turner, who really came on strong in last year's NCAA tournament, proved herself, misses both from the free throw line. She's a 67% shooter, so this may be catching. Taurasi knocks this one away. There is the number on the early shooting. It's the early turnovers that are killing them. People aren't getting shots, and that one from Strother hits the shot clock, so that's out of bounds. We have played 4 minutes and 20 seconds, only have 3 baskets. If you joined us late, you have missed some of the early action. Basically, ragged basketball to start this contest, the championship of the East Regional. Twice as many turnovers as made baskets. Offensive rebound for Penn State. Tanisha Wright comes up with it, and Brungo gets a fresh, or Jess Strom gets a fresh 30.
Well, Rene Portland said before the game, we've got to score early, and we've got to make a statement on the boards.
Somebody could be up 10 points by now. Wright getting a good shot and way short on it. Taurasi pushes it ahead.
You know, and both teams are trying so hard, and it's a great crowd. The expectations are high. Teams are missing shots. They're a little tight, maybe pushing things a little bit.
Racina Russell influenced that shot, and the ball is out of bounds, and it's out to Penn State. You don't see many 4-2 games with 14:47 left on the clock, not with people who can fill it up like these teams.
Well, exactly.
And here is the turnover story. Penn State with 4, only 1 field goal. UConn with 2 and 2.
But they're out rebounding Connecticut.
Mazzante working against Conlon. Now kicks it into the corner. Strom cuts into the lane, puts it up with the right hand, and can't hit it.
Well, I like the way Penn State is coming out of that timeout, though, Mike. They're looking to be aggressive. They want to get inside the lane.
Taurasi on the run, uses a screen, hits her third field goal. She has all 6. And turned and said something to the referee. She thought she was fouled after the shot as well. So it's Taurasi 6 and Penn State 2 at the 14-minute mark.
Well, she's like that watch. She takes a beating and keeps on ticking.
Yes, she does. She's been ticking for 4 years. 9 on the shot clock. Penn State has gotten some good shots. They just can't hit anything. And now Mazzante has to throw one from 40 feet. Actually hit the front of the rim with it.
I thought she was going to get the roll. That's one of the things that Rene Portland talked about, that Jess Strom has got to do a better job bringing the ball up the floor quicker.
Strother, a very good three-point shooter, but missed that one badly.
What happened in the Notre Dame game, they weren't getting into their offense till 23, 22 seconds left on the shot clock. And here it is, back down to 20 seconds, running their half-court game.
It almost looks like they're trying to take some time off of there and shorten the game, but it has not worked to their advantage. Now Strom takes it all the way out between the rings with 10 seconds to go on the clock. And if you make one poor decision after that, you're not going to get a good shot. Penn State offensively, 1 out of 9. Mazzante has gotten the ball in her hands 8 times, but only had a couple of shots and no points to show for it yet.
Well, and that's the thing to look for. She averages almost 20 shots a game. That's a lot of shots and only about 1.5 assists. So she's looking to score when she gets it.
Mazzante, a little off balance, got it anyway. She fired that one over Ashley Battle, who was in for the first time, and UConn leads by 2. You would expect Gino Auriemma would rotate people against a scorer like Mazzante. Try to keep somebody fresh on.
Well, you go with what's working right now, and they've got the different kind of bodies that can guard. Not a good handoff right there by Moore.
No, it wasn't, and then she dives and gets it back. The possession arrow will let UConn keep the ball. Taurasi comes off of those screens as well as anybody. Very tight, but that was a heck of a defensive play by Tanisha Wright. She just fought right through it.
Well, both those players, Mike, Kelly Mazzante and Diana Taurasi, off screens, and they are so good off the ball, cutting. As good as they are with the ball in their hand, they're just as good without the ball in their hand.
8 seconds on the shot clock. They get it into Moore. She goes with the jump hook, and Jessica Moore gets her first points. And the first points from anybody for UConn other than Taurasi.
When we talk about Mazzante getting scoring off, Wright, I think, really has to be instrumental. She only came off a game against Notre Dame, 6 points. She wasn't feeling well in that game, but she had a career high against Virginia Tech, 28 points.
There's a runner by Amanda Brown, the freshman from Kennett Square, Pennsylvania. Things starting to heat up a little bit.
I think the bench on both teams is really going to be an important situation as far as the impact that they have.
The travel call on UConn. They'll have a timeout with 11:52 to go and an 8-6 score. The winner here gets the free trip to the land of milk and honey, Bourbon Street.
Let's party New Orleans style.
Back in Hartford, UConn leading Penn State. Diana Taurasi with 6 of the 8 points so far. And Gino Auriemma knows a lot about fine wine and about fine basketball players. And with Diana Taurasi, he's got a little bit of both. This is from Taurasi's family's native Avellino back in Italy. And Mike, even the label on the back describes both the wine and the basketball player with words like spicy, robust, and of course the Surgeon General's warning for opponents. Enjoy in moderation. Too much Taurasi may be bad for your health.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Beth.
And I'm sure Gino Auriemma, who's starting a restaurant here in Hartford, is looking to maybe serve some of that.
Oh, maybe. Tanisha Wright got her first bucket.
Penn State is so good on their out-of-bounds plays.
Conlon, short on the 3. Offensive rebound to Turner. Fights her way in, draws a foul.
And we talked about both these teams being maybe a little tight. You can see the ball is falling short. We've seen some high bounces up on the shot clock, and neither one has really gotten into their groove.
Turner hits the free throw, the sophomore from Cleveland, second team Big East this year. The team without a great deal of height inside as Wilnette Crockett comes in at 6'2". Strother comes back in and Conlon will sit down. They're very athletic inside.
Well, both these teams had their starters play quite a few minutes. I mean, over 30 minutes each.
Turner, 1 out of 2. She's had a fine tournament. 17 points, followed by 13 and 13. So she has been an offensive force. Tried to get it inside to Tanisha Wright and did. She missed the shot but knocked out of bounds off the Huskies.
Well, free throws are going to be key in this game, too. You talk about Turner being at the free throw line and how well she's playing right now, Mike. She was 7 of 8 from the line the other night against Santa Barbara, 66% free throw shooter. In the games that Penn State lost this year, the other team shot more free throws than they did.
And Connecticut gets to the free throw line a lot. Nice defense in the steal by Ashley Battle, the 5th turnover against Penn State.
Also meaning that Penn State has to continue to attack on the offensive end. They've got to be aggressive, get inside, and try and draw some fouls and get themselves to the free throw line.
Brungo comes back in. Amanda Brown will sit down for Rece Portland and the Lady Lions. Taurasi inbound.
You know, when I say that, Penn State was 4th in the nation in free throw percentage, and if they continue to let Connecticut shoot from the outside like that, we talk about them being aggressive and attacking on the offensive end. They got to get up in their face a little bit more against Connecticut on the defensive end.
Barbara Turner with her first field goal. She has 3, and the lead is back to 3. Oh, beautiful pass, and blocked from behind. Brungo got the rebound and can't hit the chippy inside.
Brungo had such a good game the other night against Notre Dame, 20 points, and nothing falling right now for the Lady Lions.
Taurasi dumps it down low. Turner works her way in, banks it up too strong, and then Brungo knocked it out of bounds.
Ball inside, and Crockett off the bench with the block from behind. Brungo gets it again and then missed it.
Taurasi, the inbounder, because she's such an exceptional passer.
Well, you should always, I was taught at UCLA that you have your best passer take the ball out of bounds, but it's tough when they're one of your best scorers, too.
Strother with the miss. UConn ice cold early, as is Penn State. That's why it's only an 11-8 game, under 10 minutes to go in the half. And Mazzante really not getting anything going offensively. She only has 1 bucket.
And look at what Kelly Mazzante's getting the ball, how far away from the basket.
Brungo for 3. We're tied at 11. She shot the ball so well the other night. She is 8th all-time in three-point shooting at Penn State.
Well, she was 1 of 7 the other night. She shot the ball well from the floor, struggled a little bit from three-point range, but that was a big shot they needed.
Taurasi kicks it out to Ashley Battle. She misses. The offensive rebound to Wilnette Crockett. Now Taurasi, tough fadeaway jumper. Oh, that was pretty.
Taurasi can create her own shot.
And sometimes I think she is far too unselfish as a player.
And I think she's made it a point, though, this year, Mike, to get other teammates involved. It was a lot of the same players from last year's team.
Tanisha Wright, nice drive, but can't hit the shot. And UConn with a rebound with a 2-point lead. I think there are games, and they may be coming in this tournament, Ann, where Taurasi will be called on to get 30, 35 points to win.
Well, and she'll need to do it, and she's ready for the challenge, too. She's the type of player that will accept it. She knows when it needs to be done.
And she is facing Tanisha Wright, the 2-time Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year. Shot clock down to 4. I don't think Turner realized it. Then banks it in!
And Rece Portland, all she can do is smile because she knows her team played good defense, and you got to have a little luck involved.
The bank usually isn't open this late on a Monday night. Biggest lead for UConn, and that lets Gino Auriemma give Taurasi a rare break with a 5-point lead. He can afford to sit her for a few seconds.
And that was kind of strange, too, how the officials stopped play and make that substitution, and it quieted the crowd because it took, I think, them out of it a little bit and helped Penn State, but then they missed that shot.
Strom couldn't hit it. Nice job of running the floor of the layup. Will Net Crockett. UConn up by 7.
Rece Portland talked about poise. They've got to keep their composure with this loud crowd.
Boy, Mazzante was wide open. Brungo missed her earlier. A lot of hands on defense for UConn. Mazzante wide open there. They finally get her the ball on the baseline. Double team, and she throws it away. Penn State has to look out, and a fortunate pass. Brungo wasn't looking, but she got in the way. The ball hit her, and here comes Wright back the other way. Leans into a double team. Brungo in and out on the three.
And the rebounding. Coming to this game, Rece Portland said, we can't let what haunt us last year. We've got to control the boards. And right now, Connecticut doing the job on the glass.
Connecticut, as a team, a 9.5 rebound advantage for the year. Penn State only 4.5. But these are the kind of runs that can put you out of the tournament. 7 straight points.
What a
Make it 10 in a row.
Look at Gino Ariema looking at Barbara Turner like, where did that come from, girl?
That was a rainbow. Turner drains a 3. The lead is 10. And Penn State really out of sorts on offense.
And Connecticut switching things up. They're playing a man-to-man. Now they're switching into a matchup zone. They're really throwing things at Penn State to try and disrupt their offense.
The runner wouldn't go for Tanisha Wright. The ball knocked out of bounds. 6 minutes, 18 seconds to go in the half. UConn has jumped to a 10-point margin. 6:18 to go first half from Hartford. UConn and Penn State, the top 2 seeds. And here's what's happened to Kelly Mazzante so far, Annie.
She is a pinball out there. Look at her just bouncing off players, not happy about it, trying to be aggressive, getting sandwiched in between. And when she's open, they're not getting her the ball. And then she's not calling for it. She's been moving so much and getting banged up, she's getting exhausted. She has not taken a shot in 6 minutes.
Point guards have to get the ball to the right people at the right time. And they have not been doing that tonight from Mazzante.
And then when she gets it, there's no one-on-one creating by herself.
No.
And nobody comes over to set a screen for her to help open her up.
And once again, the shot clock is down to 5 seconds, and they really haven't gotten a position to shoot one. Mazzante going to have to fire again. She nearly banked one in. Great screen out by Crockett inside.
Well, it shows you what a great shot. She's had 2 shots like that have just missed going in. Good Turner user strength.
Had the right idea, but threw it by Wilnett Crockett. Let's check in with Beth.
Well, in that last Penn State huddle, Mike, Rece Portland addressing the same issues that you and Annie have been talking about. She said we have got to do a better job of putting the ball on the deck and creating something off the dribble penetration. She also addressed the Brungo-Turner matchup that we've been spotlighting, saying, hey, we've got to turn this around. Turner is killing us. And then she's talked about 2 years ago when they were eliminated by UConn out in Milwaukee during the NCAA tournament. Said, did we not learn anything from that experience of playing with more composure, Mike?
Mazzante with a little penetration this time, and lessons are learned the hard way.
Well, we talked about both those stars, the senior All-Americans, Mazzante and Taurasi, having big games, being in the spotlight. Mazzante, good hustle there.
Got the West Regional Final coming your way at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Upstarts LSU and Georgia going for the championship. LSU trying to have a chance to go to the Final Four in New Orleans. That's from Seattle, Washington, when we're done. Presented by Harley-Davidson. Hope you'll join us for that one. Plenty of time to go here. 4:55 first half, 10-point game.
But getting back to Mazzante, when she took the last shot and she missed it, Mike, she stood there. She did not attack. She floated out to the wing and did not go in and look for an offensive rebound.
Tanisha Wright picked her up against Virginia Tech, and it may be up to Tanisha Wright again. She hits that driving shot to cut the lead to 8. Wright has 4 on the night.
That's where Wright is so effective. When she gets in the lane, she can create so much. She gets herself to the free throw line, and she can make those shots.
It's interesting. It will be interesting to see how long UConn stays in the man-to-man because the zone was so effective for them.
Well, Gino Auriemma told us at the shoot-around today he's going to switch things up. He's going to put different players on Mazzante. Now he's got Strother back on her again. And he'll go into that matchup zone. He'll go into 1-2-2. Just work different things.
Foul on the drive. And it will be called against Barbara Turner. Penn State only 2 of its last 12. That's why they're down by 8. And in that span, it's encompassed 6 minutes and 40 seconds. Wilnette Crockett will come back in, and Barbara Turner will get a rest. There's Jess Brungo, and Mazzante. She can score in bunches, but she has to get the opportunity first.
Well, we talked about her having a solid game the other night against Notre Dame. 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals, but she was 6 of 16 from the floor. Now she's got Taurasi on her. Now it's switched up with Babby. Again, just different looks with different people on her.
Shot clock down to 7, and Penn State just having a terrible time trying to get some decent shots, and Mazzante just nicked the front of the rim on that one. Excellent defense by UConn.
The hard part for Kelly Mazzante is that she's having to work so hard for her shots.
And they're going to make her work on defense, I think, too. Tipped into the corner. Mazzante comes out with it. The All-American from Montoursville, Pennsylvania.
Well, they ran it. Kelly Mazzante and Tanisha Wright, they've got a great DVD on both those players that they put out at Penn State. And Joe Paterno talked about her, and Mike Mazzina from the New York Yankees, and all these different coaches. The biggest thing is the character of Kelly Mazzante, the sportsmanship. What a great kid she is.
Tanisha Wright, tough shot there, in and out.
And no,
I think they're playing a little
rebounding.
gimmick defense here. Strother couldn't catch up with that pass. Taurasi a little too strong with it. Going for the home run and missed. 2:47 to go in the half. The lead still 8. And Rece, that had to be such a crushing disappointment for them, the way that game ended. Been a crushing disappointment in the first half for the Lady Lions of Penn State. They have scored 13 points in 17 and a half minutes. Tanisha Wright got caught up in the air, tries to throw it to Russell, and another turnover. The Lady Lions have given it away 7 times, and now Taurasi will come up against Wright. Good steal by Strother, and then the reach-in by Taurasi. And Taurasi got whacked in the chops after delivering a big shot against Strom. Our Star Watch update, Taurasi with 8, Mazzante with 2. But that shooting percentage really doesn't tell the story. She had to launch 2, one from 40 and one from 35 as the shot clock was running down, so that will kill your average.
And as a team, they're shooting 23% in this first half with 2 minutes left to go in this game.
And they just can't control the ball. They haven't been able to get good shots. And it doesn't matter how good the defense is. You only have 13 points in 18 minutes. You're not doing a lot of things right.
And even getting the shots off, they've got 7 offensive rebounds, and they haven't scored off the second chance points.
Taurasi wants the ball and gets it with 18 on the shot clock. She's fouled by Wright.
Well, not much of a reach-in, but the fact that she reached in as Taurasi was going by her, the foul is called, and Wright really trying to hang tough with Diana Taurasi. And Gino Auriemma has been doing a lot of substituting in this first half.
Taurasi will inbound. There's a fresh 30. UConn has only had 4 trips to the free throw line and hit 1. Penn State has not gone to the stripe in this first half.
No,
there have been very few fouls.
Well, Penn State averages 18 free throws a game, Mike, and they can't get it there. They're trying to get inside, and nothing's going right for them right now. Well, it goes for them here.
Strother was too strong on the shot. Barbara Turner, nice hustle to try to save it, but couldn't. Well, and Penn State really needs a couple of baskets in the last minute and a half to give them a lift going into the locker room.
Well, big time. And we talked about the inside play. They've got Amanda Brown, the freshman at 6'4". They've got to get something inside to the post players.
Good screen for Strom. Now she takes it down the lane, scoops it up with the right hand. One and done again for the Lady Lions.
And what's happening in Penn State, too, they've got Amanda Brown down there, and Brungo gets screened out. The other perimeter player, some other guard has to go in there and get on the offensive board. But what you sacrifice is a fast break by Connecticut.
Bad pass by Turner, picked off. 1:06 to go in a 21-13 game. Sloppily played at both ends. Wright goes baseline, tough shot, but can't hit it.
She does a great job slicing in there, Mike, but sometimes, you know what, you got to try and draw the foul. You got to make the contact so you can get to the free throw line.
Penn State a little confused on defense. That lets Taurasi get free behind a screen. Can't hit the three. Good rebound to Brungo, and here comes Strom. Nice cut. Strom goes down the left side of the lane. Can't hit the shot again. The rebound, Amanda Brown, and she's fouled. Coming up on the Singular Halftime Report, Rece, Nell, and Stacey will be back in the studio. We'll have a live interview with Baylor coach Kim Mulkey Robinson. And what just a difficult finish to that game the other night. There have been some thrillers and some heartbreaks in this tournament. Mazzante, that would have been huge. Can't hit the shot. This foul is going to be on Brungo, going for the offensive rebound. That will be 2 fouls on the senior from Allison Park, Pennsylvania, with only 26:8 to go in the first half. And now UConn wants a timeout to talk about it. Look at the numbers. 8 turnovers and 6 out of 30 shooting. The focus, of course, as it always is, on Kelly Mazzante, the All-American, because she averages 20.2 points a game. She's the all-time scoring leader in the Big Ten.
And also averages almost 20 shots a game. She's only got 7 shots, and 3 of them have been launched.
Duke plays Minnesota tomorrow night. Minnesota with a great 1-2 punch. Duke, of course, tremendous players in Elena Beard. Tennessee surviving against Baylor the other night. They will play Stanford. Stanford's going to scare some people. They can play. And LSU, Georgia, that will be decided tonight. The number 4 against the number 3 seed.
For Penn State, they've got to come out. They've got 26 seconds left. Set up. Connecticut gets the ball right now, but they're in a drought. Obviously, you can see the last 4.5 minutes of the game. 0 for 5, and they have not been great shots. They haven't been clean looks, and just you can tell that they're rushing shots, they're forcing shots, they're trying to make things happen. Strom missed the layup. Wright missed a cutting shot in the lane. Mazzante's launching one from way out high, and they haven't used their posts per se.
Right.
So we talk about how intelligent this team is and how many offenses they have, over 125 offenses. And right now, they're just trying to run one.
There's Julia and Louis Mazzante, Kelly's parents, looking on, wondering what's going on. They haven't seen anything like this very often.
Coming up in a half-court trap press right now, putting some pressure on Connecticut.
UConn can play for the last shot. Taurasi has it outside. She just gets rid of the ball so quickly. Conlon says, let's run the offense. Shot clock down to 5. They're looking for Taurasi. She cuts behind the screen. Taurasi at the buzzer. Good if it goes. Did it go? What a way to finish the half for the All-American. Diana Taurasi with 11 of UConn's 24. And you can count on her for the spectacular.
She does a great job coming off the screen. Watch her face, and then just slide down. See the defense coming at her. Quick step. And the question is, did she get it off in time? Renee Portland certainly didn't think she did.
What a pure shot, though. She is something else.
You get a run going like that, it just gives you such great momentum going in at halftime.
And they are consulting the monitor right now. The officials have the right and actually the obligation to go to the monitor and check and see as the standby official, Tommy Salerno, is over there.
And they call it the UCLA rule, and that's what happened in the Baylor and Tennessee game the other night. All
right, let's listen. Listen for the buzzer. Boy, that's close.
That's going to be hard to tell.
Let's go to Beth. She has Gino Auriemma.
Well, while they try and sort that out, Coach, can you tell us a little bit about the defensive effort? You talked about how difficult they were to defend. Why do you think you were so effective in the first half?
Well, I think we did a pretty good job of identifying where the shooters were, and I thought we did a good job of getting out to the right people at the right time, and then forcing them into maybe taking the shots they don't want to take. And I thought we did a great job rebounding the basketball, but they helped us too. You know, they missed some shots, and you know, it's only 20 minutes.
What would you like to see your team do better here in the second half?
I was really disappointed that, I don't know how long we held them scoreless or to 2 points, but I didn't think we executed very well offensively. We really didn't capitalize on a lot of the opportunities that we had. So I think we need to do a much better job of that in the second half. I don't think we're going to hold them to 13 in the second half.
All right, thank you, Gino. Mike, back to you.
All right, thanks, Beth. And as they review this replay, you can see the ball in Diana Taurasi's hand. It has not been released yet when the clock hits 0. But what you have to listen for first is the horn. The horn is what counts, not the 0-0. And now they are going to say no basket at the end of the half, and Gino Auriemma would like an explanation, but the officials are gone. Now listen to the horn. The horn takes precedence over everything.
But yet they felt that the horn went off before it was out of her hands because they took it away.
It sounds like the horn went off after she shot it, because that's why I said initially, I'm not trying to defend myself. No. That's why I said it's good if it goes, because the horn sounded after she shot the ball. And the procedure is the horn takes precedence. If you don't hear the horn, you look for the lights on the backboard and then the clock. The clock is third.
Right, and there are no lights.
No, so now you have the horn and the 0-0, and when you listen to this, the horn sounds after she shoots it.
And Gino Auriemma is still over at the table checking.
This was clarified by the NCAA in the middle of the season when there was a question about which took precedence. Was it the light, the clock, or the horn? And since this building does not have the lights on the backboard, the horn is first, then the clock. When you listen, it seems that the horn is going off after she shoots.
And at the end of halftime or the game, the officials are obligated to check when there's question in the clock.
Exactly.
And it's called the UCLA rule, what happened to UCLA against Alabama a few years ago.
Now, the ruling would be if you hear the horn and determine the horn makes it good or no good, it doesn't matter where the 0-0 is. It's the horn. Well, they take it off the board. That's all it counts. It's 21-13 at the half. A bizarre ending, Rece Davis.
Mike, we've had our share of those lately. Glad to have you with us on the Singular Halftime Report. Nell, Fortner, Stacey, Dale Schumann here with me. I've been on the officials so much I feel compelled to say I think they got this one right. If you're Rene Portland, what do you say to your team at halftime?
I think she has to go in there and loosen them up a little bit because they're extremely tight right now. To me, Penn State is playing not to lose instead of playing to win. She's got to loosen them up, give them some confidence, and help them believe in themselves that they can beat this UConn team.
Penn State's relying too much on the outside shot. You got to get in the gaps. You got to penetrate, come off some on-ball screens, get to the rim. When they get to the rim, they're successful.
Very low-scoring first half, 21-13, and a little controversy at the end, which we saw in the Baylor-Tennessee game last night. And Kim Mulkey-Robertson will join us to talk about that controversial end last night.
For Audi for your nearest dealer.
At the half, UConn leading Penn State 21-13. The combined 34 points, the lowest in the tournament this year. Take a look at the Home Depot coaching adjustments. Maybe a little shooting practice at halftime, man?
Well, right now for Penn State, they've got to get some clean looks for Mazzante, and she's got to get better shots, and they've got to get some offensive boards and finish the second chance situations. And then for Connecticut, they've got to continue playing the defense, just switching things up and harassing Mazzante.
Mazzante held to 2 points in the first half. She averages over 20.
And she had a career low 4 against Iowa, but they won that game.
Neither team scored in the last 4 minutes and 42 seconds of the first half because that Taurasi basket at the end of the half was wiped off by the officials. Here's the steal and a 3-on-1. Taurasi in the middle. and she gets the block and picks up the foul. Boy, she blocked Mazzante, and it looked like she got all ball. Must have gotten her with the body.
Wow, was that fun to see? 3 white jerseys on the break, and looks like it's all ball, but it's off the follow-through where she gets a foul. Diana Taurasi, I think, a terrific shot blocker.
Mazzante, first free throw for Penn State. Let's check in with Beth Mullins. Beth?
Well, Mike, Randy Portland thrilled that when she went into the locker room and UConn had scored 24, when she came back out, there were only 21 on the board. But she obviously said to her team, they've got to be more aggressive offensively. And then she reminded them, at halftime in the regular season, UConn was leading Duke 35-18 in this building and lost on Jessica Foley's buzzer beater. Mike?
It's a good thing to point out. Taurasi too strong on the 3, but an offensive rebound. Then a steal by Strom, but the foul on Jess Strom.
And those 13 points in the first half were a UConn record defensive performance. It's the lowest scoring half in an NCAA game.
Strother off the inbound. And Penn State has obviously come out of the locker room fired up, and Taurasi with a jumper. She is the game's leading scorer with 10.
And she gets such good lift. It's a clean shot. You take it. You see her take the three-point shot, and then all of a sudden she gets in the lane. There, Wright gets in the lane, and you see 4 blue jerseys around her. This time she gets to the free throw line. Diana Taurasi, she just sets things up. Goes slow, and then explodes around the screen tight off that curl, and Wright is just trailing too much to put any kind of defensive pressure on Taurasi.
And Taurasi seems to have that ability to hang there in the air and get the shot cleanly.
Well, what I really enjoy watching about her game is that, and we talked about it the other night against Santa Barbara, is that she goes in different speeds, and she starts slow. She starts in first gear and sets people up, and you don't have to go in 5th gear all the time.
Tanisha Wright hits both free throws, so after shooting none from the stripe in the first half, Penn State in the second half, one of the best free throw shooting teams in the nation, has hit all 4. Strother can't get the lean in.
She was 0 for 4 in the first half. No points for Strother.
Looking for Taurasi, can't find her. Good job by Moore to keep it alive, whether by Battle or Turner, I'm sorry. And Turner hits the jump shot. She has a dozen. That's a pressure shot there.
Well, the one thing that Gino Ariema has talked about Barbara Turner's game this year as a sophomore, she's matured. She understands what she needs to do out there more.
Strom out of the corner. It's an air ball.
One thing that Gino Ariema said coming into this game, he said, I want to slow things down because I don't want Penn State to get so many shots. But the other thing is, I want to push it. I want to force them to run and get back on transition defense. So he did that. He changed things up in that first half and looked to do it in the second half.
Turner, nice penetrating move. Basket and the foul. Got by Brungo, and Brungo picked up her 3rd personal.
Barbara Turner using her size, her quickness at 6 foot. She's put the ball on that floor, gets underneath, and the Connecticut bench is a happy bunch.
And the way she screened off the defender with her arm, that could have easily been called an offensive foul on her. And she got the benefit of the doubt. And I haven't figured out why Turner did not go to the free throw line.
Well, they said it was on the floor. It was on the floor before she went up for the shot. And she's going to get to the line on that one. And again, Diana Taurasi set up that whole thing, Mike. We talked about her numbers being down this year. It's certainly not in the NCAA tournament. But when she came around that screen, she dished it back out to Turner and banged right into the defensive player that was guarding Turner, which gave her the wide open shot.
Free throw good by Turner. Former Miss Ohio basketball, and they have, between Taurasi and Turner, 23 combined points to 17 for Penn State as a team. And Turner, who only shoots 67% from the line, looked good on those 2 strokes, and she has 14. Mazzante really needs to get on track, short on the 3.
It's not that she doesn't have that range. It's just that Strother is so long and lanky, she gives her enough space, but puts that arm out there to distract her.
Right down the lane, and another foul, another basket for Turner.
Amanda Brown just cannot guard Turner out there at the top of the key. Connecticut, what they've done, they've taken Turner on the outside. They can post her up or bring her outside. And they bring Brown all the way out, and Turner just blows by her.
That's 2 on Brown, and it's 30-17. And Turner makes it a 3-point play. The lead has grown to 14 points. UConn has won 15 NCAA tournament games in a row. 16 would send them to New Orleans for a shot at yet another national championship. Wright,
nice
beautiful
shot.
move. Wright knew there was a space there somewhere, finally found it, hit the basket. Taurasi loves that little skip. It gets her set, and then she knocks down the 3.
Talk about a quick release. Now they're setting up in that zone.
They're going to make Penn State try to earn it from the outside.
1-2-2 zone. They go inside Wright. She's so effective in there. Little push-off.
Got away with a push-off. Loose ball.
Moore got the block.
Mazzante, shot clock at 8. Strom hears the chant from the crowd, looks up at the clock. Shot clock at 3. She'll have to do something with it. Strom goes baseline, and that's a shot clock violation.
They've had a lot of that in this game.
And the UConn fans are on their feet in Hartford.
And I think there's going to be a lot of frustration for Kelly Mazzante as far as not getting involved in the offense.
Dangerous cross-court pass, but they got away with it. And a nice spin move and a bucket for Barbara Turner. She is on fire.
Well, Penn State's trying to do anything they can right now, Mike. They tried to go into a half-court trap, and once they did, Connecticut did such an excellent job spreading it and getting rid of the basketball before the trap came. And again, we talked about Turner's quickness, her speed, and that time Ashley Schwab just getting beat baseline and Turner powering it up there.
Turner has 20. Mazzante out of the corner, missed it badly. The lead is 18.
Well, this game certainly is not showing the kind of career and the kind of player that Kelly Mazzante has been at Penn State for 4 years.
Conlon lost control of that one on the way up. And the foul will go on Ann Strother as she tried for the follow. Barbara Turner, through 24 minutes of basketball, has scored 20 points for the Huskies.
Big lead for UConn early in the second half, thanks to the play so far of Barbara Turner with 20 points. And when we talked to Gino Auriemma about her yesterday, he said, you know, I've loved watching her move from a one-dimensional player to a three-dimensional player. She has grown into understanding when to give it up and help others and when to take it to the bucket herself. She's definitely in the mood right now to take it all the way to the basket, and she's definitely, Mike, three-dimensional. She's even knocking them down from beyond the arc tonight.
Having a magnificent game, Beth, and she averaged almost 15 points a game for the tournament coming into tonight. And this evening she has 20. Right short on the jump shot. Taurasi rips down the rebound.
Well, Turner's first start last year was as a freshman was against Notre Dame, where she had a career-high 25 points at that time and knocked down three-pointers.
Taurasi posting up Mazzante, didn't get the roll. Penn State trying to run. Right in the middle of a 3-on-2.
Huge. Strom was 0 for 8 before she hit that shot.
Strom with her first bucket cuts it to 15. They're going to need plenty more of those.
And see what you do, and Rainey Portland has talked to her team in the past, you go in 4-minute increments because they just chip away at the team that's beating you right now. Yeah, they're down 15, but if they can continue to play good defense and then set their offense up, that's going to help.
Moore was wide open. Turner gets the assist with a perfect pass.
They didn't play good defense on that possession.
Well, Turner really has their attention. She goes inside, she gets double-teamed. That time she found a wide open Moore.
But both these teams do have such good balance that a lot of players can score.
Neither is shot well from the outside overall, and Wright trying to get it inside throws it away.
with Barbara Turner. There you see the double team, and then all of a sudden Jessica Moore wide open. Good hands to keep control of it. She's coming off a double-double against UCSB.
UConn coming out shooting much better in the second half, 60%. Penn State shot 20% in the first half so far, shooting 25% in the second half. And I think Tanisha Wright got her eye bumped trying to get that contact back in place.
And Kelly Mazzante 1 for 9 from the floor. Wow. Only 9 shots, let alone touches. She hasn't had a lot of touches either. And there's that press. And just the spacing that Connecticut has. At the shoot-around today, they worked on breaking the press today.
You know, Oriema hasn't won 529 games because he didn't know what he was doing.
Failing to prepare is preparing to fail.
Oh, I like that.
John Woodenfoot.
It's got to be on a coffee mug somewhere, too. 41-22. The lead back to 19. We're under 14 minutes left. 22 points for Turner. Wright.
Well, Penn State's running the right side of the court right now. Wright almost comes up with the steal. And they're still struggling. They're looking to double down Mazzante. Mazzante's kicking out, but they've got to get the right people in a position to score.
This will be a push on Ashley Schwab, number 51. That's her second personal. Since the first round, Mazzante has really gone into a funk, shooting only 27% from the floor. Just had a terrible night against Virginia Tech at Tech, and Tanisha Wright bailed him out in that game. Taurasi, well, she knew that was in the hole, too.
You know, to me, she's a Reggie Miller. If you look at the rotation on the ball, great shooters get the ball with the seams going with the rotation.
Yeah. And hers usually seems to find the bottom of the net. 43-21, the back-to-back defending NC champs up big. UConn has opened up a 21-point lead with 13-16 to go in the ballgame for the right to go to New Orleans. In the Final Four is Taurasi's last bucket. So smooth. And then in reaction to the Penn State fans behind us who gave her so much grief before the game started, a little kiss. And these are really loyal Penn State fans.
They've been great.
Yes,
they were so loud before the game. We thought there was a huge amount of Connecticut fans. I tell you, the Penn State fans have been supportive. And those guys behind us have been loud. They're
good. Taurasi and Turner, 37 points, 63% shooting. The rest of the team, only 6 points. As it turns out, they haven't needed the rest of the team because Penn State's only scored 22. And if the Lions are going to make a run, they better start right now.
Well, the spotlight certainly has been on Diana Taurasi, and Kelly Mazzante finally getting a basket.
Mazzante with 6 points, only her second field goal of the game.
And that's big. I mean, she really has to start taking over this game for Penn State. She's the All-American. She's the leader, the all-time scorer, and not just scoring. I mean, she's got to do other things out there for her teammates.
Jennifer Harris, number 53, is in for UConn. Shot clock is down to 3. Taurasi! Are you kidding? Are you kidding? Oh!
Total Larry Bird!
Oh, it sure was.
Bird. Watch her curl. She knows exactly the double team's coming up. And just what Jessica Moore, be ashamed of yourself.
Is that pretty?
And that's with Jessica's strong hand, her left hand.
Unbelievable. Schwab picks up the foul. Jen Rosati, one of the great guards of all time, who just had her record broken by Diana Taurasi, and you have to know how much she appreciated the intelligence and the skill that went into that last Taurasi pass.
Well, and there's such a great sorority here at the University of Connecticut with these players.
You don't get to see something like that very often, and I just wish for their sake it had worked. It was beautiful.
There's that zone. Just, again, switching things up, trying to disrupt the offense, and Mazzante trying to make things happen. And 2 buckets in a row for Kelly Mazzante.
The All-American senior has 8. The lead is 19. I can't get over that pass. That was awesome. Penn State trying to pick up the intensity on defense.
And things really being spread out on the offense. Look at the spacing that the Huskies create. And Diana Taurasi, now she's a passer. She becomes a passer on the outside and sees her teammates cutting.
She has 3 assists, and Ashley Battle got her first basket. Mazzante dribbles into traffic, triple team, knocked it away. Look at the hustle by Mazzante. She goes down to the floor after having the shot blocked, didn't sulk about it. Went down on the floor and tied it up. Penn State will keep the ball. One more look at Taurasi's magic. Good grief.
Tennessee has its 4th national title under Pat Summitt. Back-to-back championship. They have won their 3rd straight national championship. 39-0, Connecticut is perfect. Huskies win back-to-back national championships.
UConn trying to go to its 5th consecutive Final Four. That would be a record. And trying to tie Tennessee with 3 straight national championships. And the first bucket for Jennifer Harris off the bench, a big one. Cuts it to 47-29.
Well, it'd be an NCAA record. You know, Immaculata, which Rene Portland played on, and Kathy Rush, they went to 5 finals. They won in 72, 73, and 74, and then Delta State won 3 years in a row. But they went to Immaculata 5 finals with Teresa Grentz, Marianne Stanley, and Rene Portland on that team.
And I wish the NCAA would incorporate those records.
Well, if we're going to have a Wade Award to represent Margaret Wade from Delta State, you've got to.
I think so. 47-29. Taurasi misses the long bomb. Harris powers her way in. She draws the foul. Harris, a freshman from Harrisburg.
Well, I like this substitution by Rene Portland. Just putting somebody in fresh, trying something different. And Jennifer Harris, 2 possessions down, has created something.
Jessica Moore just picked up her 3rd personal foul. And Harris, the high school McDonald's All-American, hits the first free throw. And now Tanisha Wright will come back. And Barbara Turner returns for UConn. And Mazzante right now will get a little bit of a breather. I guess you have to rest her sometime, but how long can you afford to leave her out now that she may be starting to warm up?
Give her a couple minutes.
And that's it. Then tell her she can rest in the offseason if it comes to that.
It was Jamie Carey from Texas. She wouldn't want any rest.
Harris hits them both. 47-31. Loose ball steal. And Brungo can't convert.
And Rene Portland cannot believe there was not a foul called on that.
And then UConn turns it over and gives the ball right back to the Lady Lions.
And that's what the Lady Lions are trying to do, is go inside, get a foul. They think they get it, no call. But they've got to continue. Right, they've got to continue to be aggressive to go inside.
Strom calls the play she wants. Remember, in the opening round here, Strom was sensational in the second half, and that will be an offensive foul on Tanisha Wright, who just went down the right side of the lane full bore and couldn't pull up.
And you saw it coming. I mean, Diana Taurasi is so good at seeing the next play ahead, and she got herself in a position to take the charge. Actually, Tanisha Wright had a 15-foot jumper off the elbow there.
Conlon under pressure. Strom trying to dog every step. Strother, who's been cold offensively. Taurasi has not been. In and out on the 3. And the ball knocked out of bounds to the Lady Lions with 10:06 left to go. They're still alive, down by 16. We're at the Hartford Civic Center for the final of the East Regional. Number 1 seed Penn State, number 2 seed UConn, highly unusual for them. The winner goes to New Orleans.
Well, Just Strom has Maria Conlon on her. And again, you see the defense that Connecticut is running. There's an outside shot by Tanisha Wright.
Penn State has scored the last 7. It's down to 14. Numbers for UConn, 3-on-2. And Taurasi will work the clock instead. Wright goes for the steal. Taurasi takes the advantage, goes straight down the lane, and draws the foul. If that's on Brungo, that would be 4 on her. Instead, they're going to give it to Rece Russell. And now Mazzante is going to come back in the ballgame at the next opportunity for Rece Portland.
Well, Taurasi really seen, Mike, as far as the open floor. Tanisha Wright goes for the steal, and she goes right down the lane. Nobody steps up to stop her.
You're right.
Because they're afraid she's going to pass the ball and she'll get the assist, but you don't let somebody drive down the lane like that.
Mazzante back in, and Harris, who did a nice job, will sit down. Taurasi, about the only thing she's done wrong tonight is miss that free throw. She's an 81% shooter from the line. Hits the second one. And Diana Taurasi was 16. She and Turner have been huge offensively. The league's back to 15. UConn goes zone.
They're just switching up, and now Strother is on right. Tough shot.
And she buries it. Mazzante with a huge 3. And here come the Lady Lions, 48-36. And Gino Auriemma wants a timeout to talk about this. You can't hold the All-American down forever.
Well, she came in, got a little rest with her legs, got her feet set. We talked about what great range she has, and that time she had a little bit of an opening. She wasn't rushing the shot so much, and if she can get more of those in the second half, they're right back in this game.
West Regional Final comes up at 9 Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific tonight. 4th-seeded LSU against the 3rd seed, Georgia. That's from Seattle, Washington. Then we will have 2 parts of the puzzle for the Final Four in New Orleans. We will settle the other 50% of the issue tomorrow night in the Mid-East and Midwest Regional Championship games.
A rematch of the SEC where Georgia beat LSU this year at Georgia and played them a zone. So it'll be interesting to see whether they go in man-to-man or a zone against LSU.
Taurasi inbounds to Turner, who's been quiet lately, trying to make the move there. Got inside, drew the foul, I believe, on Russell. And that will be 2 on Rece Russell.
Well, Rece Portland has been trying to figure out who's going to guard Barbara Turner, and she has put her post players on her. When Turner gets the ball on the outside, she's just wheeling and dealing. She's taking it down low, putting spin moves on, and getting to the free throw line.
And I'm surprised, even though she's hit a couple of long-range shots, that they have gone out and chased her, because coming into this game, she had only made 14 three-point shots all year long. So why not lay back and wait on her?
Well, it doesn't help, too. Brungo was guarding her earlier. She's got 3 fouls.
49-36, 8:52 to play for the right to go to New Orleans in the Final Four, and Turner with 23. Out of the corner, Brungo hits a huge shot. Look at this.
Well, Penn State's a team that takes over 17 three-pointers in a game, and they're looking to get them in now.
And now, Gino, you see him give that signal. He doesn't want to run time off the clock. He wants to run his offense.
Well, and has Connecticut become just a little complacent in the sense of they had such a big lead, Mike,
right,
and really were dominating the Lady Lions. And now all of a sudden they hit some threes and a little lackadaisicalness by the Huskies, but they got to turn it up another notch again.
Rece Russell picked up her 3rd, and that will send Taurasi back to the free throw line. She and Turner have combined for 39 points.
You know, last year, Taurasi, we talked about how she raises the level of her play when it's NCAA time. The last 6 games go into the tournament, she averaged 26 points with a high of 35 against TCU.
She scores when they need her to score. If they need her to be an assist machine, she does that. She can block shots. She can play defense. She runs the court. She's just basketball smart as the dickens. Three-pointer Wright.
Connecticut's getting a little tired because they're not getting around those picks. Even though Wright missed that shot, a little bit more time on Penn State as far as the opening look for the basket.
Taurasi, 12-point lead for UConn, 7:45 left, and they turn it over. Here comes Jess Strong. Trying to penetrate, goes to Brungo in the corner, quickly covered up.
Rece Portland calling in one of her plays.
Mazzante. Now Strom, 9 on the shot clock. Mazzante again trying to make it happen.
Oh, nice.
Basket and the foul. Great move by Mazzante.
Now, Rece Portland told us before the game that they're going to try and exploit Marie Conlon. They don't feel that she's that good a defensive player. And Kelly Mazzante recognizes that and gets herself by her and to the line.
And that's 4 fouls on Jessica Moore. The lead is down to 10. This would cut it to single digits. 82% shooter. Mazzante knocks it down. And after being held down for so long, she has 14 points. The winner of this one goes for the national championship in New Orleans.
Let's party New Orleans style.
The lead is down to 9 in Hartford. UConn over Penn State. Beth Mullins, it must be getting a little tighter on the UConn sideline.
Well, Gino Auriemma during the huddle telling his team to relax, reminding them, hey, we've lost the momentum here. We've become much too passive on the offensive end. Reminding them, don't pick up your dribble, and they're going to try and bring a little more pressure. And, of course, Mike, as they can always do coming out of a timeout, they can set something up for Taurasi on the offensive end to get her the ball, and that's what he was drawing up.
And Beth, the lead at one point was 21. UConn was on top 47-26. Seemed to be on cruise control, but Penn State has scored 16 of the last 20 points since then. Mazzante is out on Taurasi right now. And Gino Auriemma wants a timeout because Barbara Turner did exactly what Beth Mullins told us that he instructed him not to do. Watch picking up your dribble, and she did it right in front of Gino.
He was not happy about it. But there you see Connecticut shooting 49% on the Harley-Davidson game track. Turner and Taurasi 41 points out of the 51. Penn State in the first half did not shoot well. 13 points, a few assists this season, and Mazzante is starting to heat up.
And that shooting percentage from Mazzante includes 2 desperation shots. Shot clock is running down. So actually, she is legitimately 5 out of 12 in this game. Hits 2 more, she'll be at 50%. And if she hits 2 more, this game might be a lot closer.
That's right. And as a team, they shot 20% in the first half, but now shooting 47%.
Mazzante has been able to hit 4 of the last 5. Shot clock at 12 for UConn. It's a 7-minute mark.
Connecticut just still kind of standing around. Out of timeout, you got to do something.
Taurasi wide open for 3. You just can't give her the big shots, at least not that wide open.
No, but they really did not look good coming out of that timeout. They looked a little confused, and Gino Auriemma had just had 2 timeouts.
Penn State has played much better defensively in the second half. They have played with a sense of urgency that they had to have. Mazzante backs up, can't hit the 3. Great hustle by Wright to try to keep it alive, but she can't. And now Strother brings it up. They had a 3-on-2. Now Strother goes down the lane, kicks it out in the corner. Conlon wants to reset it. Taurasi looks over at Gino Auriemma. She's being guarded by Kelly Mazzante.
They're just clearing things out.
Got the height advantage on Mazzante, and now a reach-in foul called on Kelly Mazzante. Her second.
Well, here's the frustration by Rece Portland. She's feeling that her players are getting caught with reach-ins, but here's a wide-open 3. The ball goes inside to Turner, and Taurasi just floats. She knows exactly where to spot up on the floor.
It's just too easy for her in classic form. Free throw is good by Diana Taurasi, who has 22 points. And one more, she moves into 4th all-time And she just had number 4 on the all-time list at history-laden UConn. And the lead's back to 14. Wright used her body to get open, then can't hit the shot. Russell had a rebound, knocked away and stolen by Taurasi.
One of the things Rainy Portland did in this offseason, they worked on the football blocking sleds to make themselves stronger, and they've got to get those rebounds.
Mazzante trying to reach in against Taurasi. Connecticut back in the mode of working the shot clock. Under 5.5 minutes left, the lead 14. Turner will try a 3. Got it! You've heard of people feeling it? Turner is feeling it. 26.
You talked about it, Mike, though. You know, that's her 4th three-pointer in the game. What do you give up? The inside game where she's very tough to defend, or her three-point shot where she's not very good? But, man, hitting 4 of those is tough.
Mazzante short. Well, eventually you've got to go guard her, but she kills you on the inside. Remember, no 10-second backcourt call in women's basketball.
And Kelly Mazzante really has been a physical game for her. They've really knocked her around. She's had a tough time in that first half. Has come on in the second half.
She worked harder, so hard to get stronger in the offseason so she could take the beating, and she commits the foul there that will send Taurasi back to the line.
Well, here's a little just shovel pass to Barbara Turner. Again, you see Wright getting caught behind, and for Penn State, it's just devastating for Rece Portland and her staff.
Taurasi with a miss. She has 23 tonight and has hit 5 out of 7 from the stripe. Mazzante will go out at the 4:34 mark. Try to give her a real quick breather. They'll get the advantage of the television timeout inside 4 minutes. So trying to double up here and get her an extra breather. Taurasi hits the second. 60-42, and that quickly. They got it from 9 back to 18. Penn State needs a bucket on every possession right now. Brungo, too strong.
Good rebound.
Nice.
Harris has really been a nice surprise for the Lady Lions. Maybe a little too late. That's the question.
She's only 6 feet tall, but she plays bigger. Very aggressive rebounder. She'll get the ball out of bounds with 4:20 left. And the foul was on Maria Conlon, only her second. Brungo tries to range inside. She is fouled. If they call it on Moore, that's 5 on Jessica Moore.
Well, Penn State continuing to be aggressive, going inside. Brungo, she's played in spurts in this game. Been saddled with some fouls, and a lot of shots haven't fallen for her, but she's really a player that Connecticut has had to key on because she was so effective in that Notre Dame game.
Yes, she was. She was huge. That last foul will go against Turner and not Moore, so Moore still in the ball game. 9-0 UConn run after it was cut to single digits. And here comes Ashley Battle, and Taurasi will get a rest to a standing ovation. And boy, she deserves it. She and Turner have been sensational offensively. Both free throws, no good. Russell, offensive rebound.
We talked about free throws in that first half. That may be being a key in this game, and those were the 2 first free throws that Penn State missed. They have not shot as many as Connecticut in this game.
Another foul on Turner, her third. And Wright goes to the free throw line. First team all-conference this year along with Mazzante. And they have helped Rece Portland win 28 games this year. Arguably the most talented team she's ever had at Penn State. But they need a huge comeback here to have a chance to extend their season. Well, Turner is just so good athletically, so strong. And now Conlon will do all the ball handling with Taurasi out. UConn spreads the court very well.
Well, and it creates such good spacing.
Shot clock down to 3. Nice give and go, and then Strother missed the shot. Wright takes it right down the lane. A lot of contact, no whistle. They'll call a block. And the Connecticut bench and their fans are going nuts.
Looked like a late call. One thing that Wright does is when she gets in that lane, she's looking to score. I mean, she had Harris on the wing. It looks like Battle gets position, but they're saying she's either too far under the basket, and Diana Taurasi cannot believe the call as Gina Auriemma.
And Taurasi has to be careful of doing stuff like that. He can pick up a technical in a heartbeat.
She might hurt her hand, too.
Yeah, absolutely. Which would be worse. She'll come back in the ballgame. Strother will come out.
She's squeezing and shaking it now.
She banged it pretty good, didn't she?
Got to use the other hand, Diana.
23 points tonight for Tanisha Wright. She's helped keep Penn State's hopes alive. Or she has, now 14 for her. Taurasi and Turner have been sensational on offense. They have their club up by 14 with 3:36 left. All right, thanks, Rece. We are still here in Hartford with 3:36 left to go in this one. UConn now with a 14-point lead. Penn State had cut it to 9. It had been as large as 21, and the Lady Lions really made it exciting. But UConn has built it back up to double digits. Our bracket in the East, the only bracket still intact with a 1 and 2 seed. Duke, a number 1 seed against Minnesota tomorrow night. Tennessee, a number 1 against 6th-seeded Stanford tomorrow night. And after our game, number 4 LSU against number 3 Georgia. Let's go to Beth Mullins. Beth?
Well, Mike, Rece Portland very positive with her team in the huddle, reminding them on several occasions you can still win this game. So we have to keep attacking. Best way for us to get some points on the board is to get to the free throw line without the clock moving. And then said, obviously, rebound and run for the rest of the way. Mike?
All right, Beth, and UConn is going to try to work the clock. It is their greatest ally right now.
Well, and this Penn State team believes that they can win. They honestly do it. The shoot-around today, they practiced celebrating the victory like they did against Notre Dame. I mean, it was, so jubilant after that Notre Dame game, and they did the same thing today because Rece Portland instills that belief in themselves that they can win, and you have to have a winner's mentality.
Here's somebody that does. Taurasi hits a free throw. 25 points.
Well, Taurasi, when she was a freshman and a junior, was the regional MVP in the East. And the way she's playing now, if the game continues, might be 3 out of 4.
A steal by Ashley Battle after the miss. That's a heartbreaking play for Penn State and a great hustle play for Ashley Battle. Those are the plays that win you ball games and cut-off comebacks.
And Connecticut leads 33-28 on the boards. It's close, but the Lady Lions not winning it.
Shot clock at 9 for Conlon. Nice catch by Turner. Baseline against Strom and lost it out of bounds. Turner wanted the foul, won't get it. But there's only 2:41 to go. And Penn State in a whole lot of trouble.
And you got to get a whole lot of points quick. You don't want to take bad shots, but I don't think you can afford to run the clock down either.
Strom. Boy, this is taking a long time. They can't do this. And a poor pass, you can't do that either.
No, and they're looking for Kelly Mazzante, but again, she has been bottled up all game long. There was a spurt where she got open a few times.
Look at Taurasi. This is Tanisha Wright, the 2-time defensive player of the year in the Big Ten. And Taurasi can just handle defensive pressure. She just uses her body so well and handles it so well.
Well, everybody thinks, and we talked about it, that she has a good chance of being the number 1 pick by the Phoenix Mercury in the WNBA, and also is going to get looked at for the U.S. Olympic team that will go over to Greece in 2004. Probably the only college kid, but her ability to be able to handle the ball and shoot from the guard position is something that we need on our Olympic team.
Well, if you were a general manager right now, who would you take first?
I'm not even thinking on that one.
I love to put you on the spot. It's so much fun.
Thinking. And, you know, Elena Beard's had a great year. And Nicole Powell, don't miss.
Oh, she's good.
You know, at 6'2", she does a lot of things that Diana Taurasi does. But people say Taurasi's got 2 championships.
Strom wheels to her left, shoots with the right hand off the mark. And now they're on their feet in Hartford.
And from the beginning, we talked about Penn State really being in a hole. They had to play at Virginia Tech and come to Hartford and play Connecticut.
They come and try to double-team Taurasi. She calls for help, and they get rid of it. 1:40 to go. UConn will be on its way to a 5th straight Final Four appearance. Here comes Mazzante. And taken away from behind. Excellent hustle by Ashley Battle.
The number 2 seed, Connecticut, coming in was 6-1 as a 2 seed. And only the second time they've played in their visiting uniforms at the Hartford Center.
They spread the court so beautifully in this offense.
And they really do. And Penn State has really had to hustle on the defensive end. And when they double, their passing is excellent. They get rid of it before the double team comes.
3 on the shot clock. Moore hits the jumper. The lefty buries one to make it 65-46. They love the Huskies here in Hartford. Conlon goes for the steal, picks up the foul. Kelly Mazzante will go out of this ball game right now with 14 points. She is 9th all-time in NCAA scoring. Number 1 all-time in the Big Ten. Penn State's only 2-time Kodak All-American. And she has been brilliant throughout her career.
And probably will be a 3rd-time All-American.
I would think so.
She just, you know, unfortunately, a lot of people didn't get to see her around the country. Not on TV, maybe as much nationally. But Kelly Mazzante, we talked about her sportsmanship, her character. Being from Montoursville, Pennsylvania, a small town where she is like a Rebecca Lobo here in Connecticut. But they love her there.
Morgan Valley, number 20, has checked into the ball game to get her name in the record book here at home. She's a senior. And Diana Taurasi will take a bow in her final game in her home state, her chosen home state of Connecticut. And Gino may have gotten a bigger hug than he expected as Taurasi just lifted him right off his feet.
You know, Gino Auriemma has been criticized on how tough he's been on his players. He's made them all better, but the relationship that he and Diana Taurasi have is so special and gifted.
Good job here by Ashley Valley, dribbling through traffic with 21.7 seconds to go.
And when I say gifted, California kid coming all the way to the East Coast, and her mom and dad Italians that speak Italian, and Gino Auriemma has had that great connection with the family, and they can be volatile at times with each other, but that's what makes their relationship so special.
Taurasi with 27 points and brilliant in virtually every other area of the game. And now a huge hand for Barbara Turner, who really did the job offensively when no one else was early. 26 points. She made some tough shots inside and outside. And UConn now up 66-47. A lot of people were picking Penn State. But I know you and I had a feeling coming into this game that it was going to be the Huskies again. They just have that, they have that swagger to them.
And Penn State, they did have to play as an underdog, even though they were the number 1 seed, and they felt slighted by that. But when you're here in Hartford, and Renee Portland talked about it, it's tough.
Well, it was so tough for them. They obviously had the toughest road that anybody had to have. They had to go to Virginia Tech and play Virginia Tech, and then come to Hartford and end up facing Connecticut. You couldn't do it much more difficult than that.
No, but they had a terrific year. They won the regular season in the Big Ten, and they were great champions.
They will finish 28-6. That's it. UConn wins it 66-49. They will go to their record 5th consecutive Final Four. The first time in NCAA history it's ever been done, and they will be looking for a three-peat. Already back-to-back national champions. Annie, a very impressive performance by the Huskies
Well,
tonight.
it really was. I tell you, they had 4 losses all year long, and people kept saying, Mike, what's wrong with this team?
Right.
And Gino Auriemma gave the other teams that beat him credit because they were so good. And Diana Taurasi going to the fans of Penn State throwing up her hat. But I tell you, this team has really come together, and they know how to win when it's NCAA tournament time.
So it's over in the East. The number 2 seed, Huskies of UConn, eliminate the top seed, Penn State. So 2 of the top seeds are gone. As we head to New Orleans, 2 still alive, Duke and Tennessee. They will both play tomorrow night. And it was a 2-person offensive show. They are both with Beth Mullins. Beth?
Thank you very much, Michael. Congratulations to Barbara Turner and Diana Taurasi. And Diana, we'll start out with you. Can you describe your emotions for us on this, your final home game at UConn?
You really can't. If I would put it into words, I think it would take away from the feeling. And there's no better feeling than coming out to the sideline and coach. He's been great to me and us. And, you know, this was more than getting to the Final Four. It was more of our character and our pride today. And I think we did a pretty good damn job.
Did you guys feel then a little slighted that you weren't a number 1 seed and you had to wear your away jerseys here?
We were mad we didn't get a number 1 because we didn't deserve it during the year. And we felt like we had to come out here and prove our number 1 ranking. But you know what? Now we get to go to the Final Four, and it's 2 more games, hopefully.
Well, congratulations to Diana. You got some help today from Barbara Turner. And Barbara,
PT Express, take over.
How were you able to be so effective offensively today?
I think in the second half, I just looked to attack every time I caught the ball. Coach Auriemma kind of got on me early in the game because I wasn't getting any touches and I wasn't being aggressive. So I just took it upon myself in the second half just to become more aggressive and attack the basket.
How would you describe the defensive game plan and the job that you did on Mazzante as well as the rest of the Lady Lions?
The defensive game plan was awesome. We knew coming out that a lot of their scoring came from their perimeter. And we did an excellent job of just containing them and making other people make plays. So it's really a great feeling right now. It's hard to describe. We're going to the Final Four. Nobody thought we would do this. And we're here. And I would like to say thanks to Nell, Fortner, and Stacey for picking Penn State. That was extra motivation. I love you guys.
Thank you very much. Congratulations, Barbara.
Yep.
Mike?
All right, thanks, Beth. UConn wins by 17, even though Conlon and Strother were held scoreless. The final score, 66-49 UConn. Coming up next, the West Regional Final. LSU and Georgia. For Beth Mullins, Ann Meyers, and our entire ESPN crew, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks for watching us from Hartford, Connecticut, everybody. Now here's Rece Davis.
All right, Mike. One Final Four team is in. Simone Augustus hoping to take LSU there for the first time ever. LSU and Georgia, the West Regional Final, coming up in just a few moments from Seattle. Nell Fortner and Stacey Schumann here with me. And Barb Turner, huge offensive night, but she's crediting you guys with the assist.
Well, you're welcome, Barbara. I guess that was our plan.
Anything we can do to help the Huskies, we're willing to do that.
You guys are just givers.
Yeah,
that's what it is.
That's all we do.
That's
You
right.
know, but in fairness, analysts are always in that difficult position. You got to pick somebody. You can't say everybody's good, and Penn State certainly was. There was nothing wrong with it. It was a logical pick, but UConn just overwhelmed them in this game tonight, and on their way to their 5th consecutive Final Four, their 8th Final Four overall. Look at this who's who of women's basketball. Making it 2 times in a row is a remarkable feat, much less 4. And now UConn, the first program ever to go 5 straight times.
And before we go any farther with this, Rece, I'm stating right here and now that the University of Connecticut is winning the national title this year. Done, cleared up, never picking against them again.
And now Elena Beard is at the end of the championship game will be saying, I want to thank Stacey Schumann for giving us the motivation we needed to get through this. Right?
Diane will take care of everything. I'm not worried. I'm not worried.
It was a terrific performance, not only from Diana Taurasi, but from Barb Turner as well. Now,
well,
there's no
Barb
question about
Turner,
it.
she just had a great game. They had no answer for Barb Turner. She came just with every piece of the game that you can imagine. What is so impressive about her is how she's improved her three-point shooting. She's a threat from all over the floor, but they had nobody on Penn State's team to guard dribble penetration. She was just too tough. And as you see, you're seeing an array of her moves right here. But Turner will continue to be very important as Connecticut goes on to try to win those 3 national championships in a row, which would be a tying record with Tennessee.
Turner was pretty good. She must have been playing with her SpongeBobs before we started out with that game. But Diana Taurasi started things off, and she's the one that set the tempo, like usual, in Diana Taurasi fashion. She came out a little bit hot-headed. Little fadeaway, little spin, little drop back step. Everything was going in early for her, and when that happens, everything goes in for her team. And the thing was that Penn State didn't bump Diana Taurasi off screens, and that was pretty if it had gone in. But Penn State didn't bump Taurasi off any screens. She really came off a down screen. She came off a couple flares. You've got to have a big step out and knock her off that. And they didn't do that, unfortunately, and they really paid for it.
So many accolades that have been thrown Diana Taurasi's way, all of them very deserved. Where does she rank, Nell, among the great women's players of all time?
Well, I tell you, I don't see her outside of the top 3. I think Cheryl Miller, great player. Shamiqua Holesclaw, great college player. And Diana Taurasi, I mean, I just don't see her past 3. I don't.
In my experience in the NCAA that I've enjoyed, I think she's the best player. Unfortunately, I didn't have a chance to see some of the other players, and I'm from Canada, so we just didn't get any TV coverage there on the women's players. But Taurasi's the best to me.
Well, she's been outstanding. She's going back to the Final Four. She's been there every year, and she'll try to win her 3rd straight national championship as UConn has advanced to New Orleans, 5th straight time they are headed to the Final Four.